What's going on, you guys, and good morning. It's super cloudy outside right now. See, this is what we're working with today, but I love it. It's beautiful. A lot of people see cloudy weather as more of a depressing, sad, lethargic type of day, but the way I see it is it's my day to go outside and play. This is the Yashica T2, and it's a point and shoot that I found at a thrift shop a couple of vlogs back, and I've been wanting to shoot with it for the longest time, but I never got around to doing so. Now, the Yashica T2 is an interesting camera. It's from the famous Yashica T line, including the T3, the T4, the T, original T, and then the T2 as well. The reason why these cameras are famous is for the lens that's on here. You see there it says Carl Zeiss, and so that's what makes these things popular among the film community and the shooters, is that it has Carl Zeiss glass on it. But my question is, do these cameras even live up to the hype? Let me take you guys in for a closer look. Okay, so what film are we gonna shoot with today? Let's go ahead and see if I can get this damn bag open. There you go. All right. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger from the toe. I'm just gonna use this one. Okay, what are we shooting today? We are shooting a roll of Fuji Pro 400H. All right, so we're gonna take the Yashica T2 with some 400H, load it up, and we'll be on our way. Alright guys, so I've been shooting the Yashica T2 now for maybe like the last 20-30 minutes. We headed by the water down there, but there's this particular shot that I saw coming down over here, and it's this thing right here. It's the car across the street, and I love the colors of the tree. I love the light that's on the car. I'm gonna go ahead, pull out the T2, and try to take a photo. Okay, I think we got it. The dude behind me was doing the little rocket blower thing. Turned it off, so yeah, we got the shot. I think we got it at least. Let's go ahead and head off to the next spot. Okay, so after the last shot, I realized that there are a lot of scenes with beautiful cars, you know, different vans, types of different cars, old cars, new cars, that I can shoot. And so I think the style of photography that I'm gonna do today is more of like a, I guess you say, like a street photography slash car automobile type of photography. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up and basically get like a like a flat view of each car off to the side with a nice background as well. And I know I've seen these photos a lot before online, and you know, they've been inspiring as well. So I'm gonna try to go ahead, do my take on it with the Yashica T2. And the great thing about the camera is that even though right now I'm about to take a picture of this van here, the great thing is that it has a 35mm lens, and so it allows you to get pretty wide even when you're pretty close to the subject. And so that's what I'm gonna do here. About to take a photo of this van, and then we'll go ahead and move on. But that is the subject selection for today. We're gonna do automobile photography mixed with street on the Yashica T2. Let's see how this goes. Now, would you look at that? All right, so when I started the video this morning, it was cloudy, and then it cleared up, and so it was sunny for maybe like 3 to 4 hours, and now it's cloudy again. And so the weather in California is very bipolar, and you can't expect yourself to go out without a jacket or just wearing a t-shirt, because you never know when the cold front is going to come in or when it's going to become hot. And so that's all right, that's what we're dealing with. Once again, we're back to cloudy weather, which I enjoy. I'm going to go ahead, drive around. My goal is to try to find some more shots of that, you know, style of photography where the car is the subject and then there's a nice little background as well. And yeah, as we go, I'm going to share some thoughts with you on what I think about the camera so far. Alright, so one of the quirks about the Yashica T2 that I don't really like so far is the flash system on here. So you guys can see there, it says no flash. Hold on, let me get this thing to focus. It says no flash, and one of them says daylight flash. And basically, you know, once you switch it on, the camera will automatically set a flash if the exposure reads that there's not enough light. And so even if you press no flash and there's not enough light, the camera will fire off the shutter. It's kind of pushed me away from it, but as long as you're shooting in, you know, fairly good conditions, you should be good to go. Across the street here, we have 2 different cars, and I don't know why, but it really caught my eye, especially with that tree in the background. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a shot and see where we go from there. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but we have just around 30 shots, so we probably have 6 more. But I'm walking up to this scene right here, and there's this really nice light blue car, and it shows some age. Now, the thing that I'm worried about is on top of there, the roof and also the background. So I'm gonna try to compose this shot to the best of my ability to make sure we capture its beauty and its essence of it just sitting there. Okay, so we got the shot, but it was a little weird, especially because the other cars in the background, at least, let me get in the car real quick. The other cars that were in the background kind of took away from the image, and so I tried to get at a lower angle and try to cut off some of those cars as well in the background. And so we'll see how that goes when we develop the film. Okay, we got it. Let's go. All right, so it looks like we have one more shot in the Yashica. So let's go find one more scene before we head back to the house. Have a great day. And that's it. All right, now that we got the film, let's go home and develop it. Alright guys, really quick, just want to give a big shout out to John Wilkinson. He saw me and my process of trying to do this in the dark inside of my laundry room, and so he was kind enough to send over a changing bag for me to be able to do this in the daylight. So I'm going to go ahead and load this stuff in really quick, and then let's go to the bathroom where we'll develop the film. Alright guys, so by now you've already seen the photos, but what I'm going to do really quick is just go over my first impressions, what I like about the camera, what I don't like, and finish it off with a conclusion on the Yashica T2. Now obviously one of the bigger concerns on this camera is how the lens performs. The Yashica T2 has a 35mm 3.5 Carl Zeiss lens, and I put it to the test by trying to take a photo, a new style of photography that I absolutely enjoyed, and really all I was doing was taking a very flat image of a car and a simple background, and across the frame you guys can see the Yashica T2 performed extremely well, shot from corner to corner. Also, I shot mostly in cloudy weather, but there was a point in time where it was sunny throughout this day, and as you guys can see here, there is a little, like, I guess you could say glass or plastic front element. That's not the actual lens. What happens is that thing slides out when you take a photo and it exposes the lens. So that's what the lens looks like inside. It actually acts as a protector, so that's something that I really enjoyed about the camera. Holding it in your hand is pretty comfortable actually. It's really, I guess you could say, boxy. Nick Sucio actually told me it kind of looks like a tape recorder, and I agree, it's super boxy. The design on it though is extremely handsome. You have your flash options up here. You have no flash, and then you have daylight flash. So daylight flash acts almost like a fill flash, and then no flash obviously turns it off. Something that I didn't like about the flash system on the Yashica T2 though is if you're shooting a lower speed film such as like 200 ISO and the camera meters and it knows that you're gonna have trouble with that low light situation, it'll automatically pop off that flash even if you try to turn off the flash on the camera. So I guess it acts almost like a backup or like a secondary release. But there were a couple shots on here that I didn't really want flash on, but then again the Yashica went ahead and took over. This camera compares a lot to the Canon AF35M, which is also known as the Canon Autoboy, and it has that similar kind of problem with the camera where the camera is extremely loud. Now let's listen back to that shutter again. So as you guys see there, it's pretty loud, and so if you're going to do a lot of street photography, or if you're going to try to take candids of somebody without them knowing, you're going to run into an issue where it's pretty loud. But just like the Canon AF35M, once you push down that shutter button, the camera will fire. As long as you hold it down, it won't advance the film, and that's probably the loudest part of the whole entire process. And so, you know, once you take that photo, hold the shutter button down, walk away, and then let go. And so that will allow you to get those, you know, sneaky shots. It allows you to get around the loudness of the camera. But overall, you guys, I really enjoyed the Yashica T2. It's such an attractive and handsome little camera. You know, it's one of those cameras that I feel like I can bring around on a travel trip, or maybe, you know, just somewhere in the city where I don't want to bring an SLR or rangefinder to kind of narrow down my photography. It's a super capable camera, as you guys seen in those photos, and the Carl Zeiss 35 3.5 on here is sharp as well. So overall, I enjoyed the Yashica T2. If only it had a better flash system and, you know, stuff like that, you know, it'd be great. But the T2 is a solid performer, and if you guys are looking for a point and shoot camera that can do pretty much everything with a 35mm view, definitely go online and look for one of these guys. On eBay they're going for around 50 to 100 bucks, and yeah, it's a dope camera. Alright guys, now before we cut out of here, I just want to do a quick announcement about the Film Shooters meetup I'm hosting in SF at George and Lenny's coffee shop. So if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland, Berkeley, you know, wherever you are, Vallejo, Fairfield, on January 20th we will be meeting up at George and Lenny's coffee shop in San Francisco. I'll go ahead and leave the address down below, but we'll be meeting up there at 11 a.m. and there we're going to grab coffee, we're going to talk about photography, talk about gear and stuff like that, and we'll even do a photo walk sometime in that day. January 20th, 11 a.m. at George and Lenny's coffee shop in San Francisco. Just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to another video, and I appreciate you guys sticking till the end. As always, it's been King Japes, Minota Gang. Bow. Oh shit.